Throughout the life of God's people, from Adam and Eve all the way up to when Jesus gave us the Lord's Prayer, the presence of God was a terribly dangerous thing. After all, God is holy, and while that holiness is a glorious thing, it's also fatal for sinful man. Notice how whenever an angel appears, people tend to fall on their face in fear, hiding their eyes and often crying out for mercy. God is, after all, the righteous judge of every creature. He's king of the universe, almighty, transcendent, and eternal. A God like that is unapproachable by sinners like you and me. That's why there's priests who intercede for us, a select few who can enter into God's presence, and if everything goes to plan, they can come back alive. But Jesus turns this whole way of thinking on its head with these two words: Our Father. It's one thing for a mere mortal to seek an audience with the King of the universe. It's quite a different picture for a son or daughter to talk to their loving father. One of the great joys of being a father is when your children share with you their thoughts, their needs, their fears, their thankfulness, their excitement. A loving father wants to help his kids. He wants to help them grow. He wants to share his wisdom with them. He wants to have the conversation, because sharing what's on your heart is how relationships develop. And a good father really listens. He aims to understand his children, who probably don't have the words to fully express themselves, and who probably don't fully understand how they feel or what they need. A good father listens to the words but aims to understand the heart. One of the big barriers people have about praying is that they think they don't know what to say. In fact, even Jesus' disciples may have felt a similar thing. After all, the Lord's Prayer is a response to them asking Jesus to teach them how to pray. Once we begin to understand prayer, not as a magic spell that has to be said just the right way, or an interruption in God's busy workday, but rather as a good and loving Father inviting you to spend time with Him, then the pressure of finding the right words is lifted. Your Heavenly Father is actively working to understand your prayer perfectly, even though it will certainly be prayed imperfectly. And He is our Heavenly Father, which distinguishes Him from our earthly fathers. You see, He doesn't have the failings that your earthly father does. He is everything a loving father could hope to be. Your earthly father has limits. He may be wise, but he will not always know the right answer. He may be strong, but there will be things that are too heavy for him to carry. He may be there for you, but he won't always be there with you. But your Heavenly Father doesn't have those same limitations. His wisdom never fails. There is no burden too heavy for Him to carry. There is no place you can go that He won't be with you. And there is never a moment when you are on your own. Now, chances are your father had a lot of responsibilities, and there were times when he simply couldn't stop what he was doing to talk to you, even though he really, really wanted to. But your Heavenly Father always has time to talk. So as we move into our life of prayer, let's do so with the humble boldness of dearly beloved children spending time with their good Father.